Hey, so to answer your question, as far as interior and exterior angles of a triangle, there's three main rules or theorems that you should know. The first one is called the interior sum, which means if you were to add up the three angles of any triangle, they should all always add up to 180 degrees. The next theorem is the exterior sum. Now, this is not just for triangles, but any shape: square, rectangle, heptagon, decagon. So any polygon, the outside angles of that shape add to 360 degrees. So if I were to take three angles outside and add them, I would always get 360. Now, the remote interior is one that often people forget about, but is a pretty simple concept. And if I were to take the two angles that are on the inside, but not adjacent to the exterior angle, so if I were to add E and F, they should equal H. Now, why is that the case? Well, the two angles, interior and exterior, always make a straight line of 180. The three angles inside the triangle always make 180. And therefore, 180 is the same. If I were to set the equations equal to each other, I could cancel a G on both sides. Therefore, E plus F is always going to be equal to H. Now, in order to solve a problem like this, where we have interior and exterior angles, we only need two, and they could be one inside, one outside, two inside. So just to make up any numbers, if this angle here were 40 degrees, and this angle down here was, say, 70, well, actually, I'll change it just so it's not an isosceles triangle. But if this angle were, let's say, 85, again, not drawn to scale, I actually now know the measure of all of the other angles that are included. So the first angle that I would know is beside the 140 is a linear pair. So 180 minus 40 makes this angle 140 degrees, my first exterior. The next thing I know is I have vertical angles. Vertical angles share the same linear pair. So that means the top angle of our triangle is also 40 degrees. I could also say that the vertical angle to 140 is also 140. Now, what else do I know? If I have 85 degrees down here, this angle is vertical to that. I could also say that the linear pair to 85, or 180 minus 85, is 95. And last, I have two angles inside a triangle, 40 and 85. Well, their sum is 125. How many degrees am I missing? I'm missing 55 degrees. Now, if that's 55, the angle that makes a linear pair with 55 is 125. And now going back to my three theorems, I can prove all of these things to be true. If I take the three angles inside, my interior angles, 40 plus 55 plus 85, I get 180 degrees. And that's true. The next thing I could do is take three of my exterior angles and add those up. So 140, 140 plus 125 plus 95 equals 360. And last, I could prove that the remote interiors are true by the following. If I add 40 and 55, I get 95, the angle that is non-adjacent to them on the exterior. If I were to add 40 and 85, I get 125, the angle on the exterior that is non-adjacent to them. And last, if I were to add 85 and 55, I would get 140. So to answer that homework question that you had emailed, you sent in this picture, And it's using those three theorems. If I understand that one angle on the outside is 6x plus 13, another angle on the outside is 167 minus 9x, and the other exterior angle is 7x plus 66. There are my three exterior angles, and my three exterior angles should all add to 360. All we have to do now is combine like terms. So 6 minus 9 is negative 3, plus 7 makes 4x. 13 and 167 is 180, plus 66 would make 246. Now that's how most people would solve it. But what is different about this one? Well, it's the location of 6x plus 13 right here. It's not the exterior angle. 167 and 9x is exterior. 7x and 66 are exterior, but this one's not. This one is the vertical. And that's why in your problem, you had to do 180 minus that. Because this makes a straight line, 180 minus 6x plus 13 is that angle. And that's the biggest mistake that people then would make, is they would start solving it this way, and they'd fail to realize that this angle, 6x plus 13, is not the exterior, but the vertical angle. So the correct way is to bring all of this down, since both of these quantities are exterior angles. And this angle right here is a linear pair with an exterior angle. And that's why that one is plus 180 minus 6x plus 13. So after you then complete all this, 167 plus 66 plus 180, and then combine your like terms, that should help you solve it. So that's where this negative 6x plus 13 came from. And so the rest of your work is correct here, but if that's where your confusion was, I hope that helps answer your problem.